Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Dennis. So if you've been following the channel, one thing you'll know is I've been doing a bunch of Windows 11 stuff. So this week I'm going to be doing the install of Windows 11 with Windows 10 already on it. Because I want to see if the activation key will just follow along and Windows 11 will stay activated and I won't have any issues. I'm going to do a complete install, fresh install with I'm just going to do a boot up from Windows 11 USB stick. Okay, so Windows Media Creation Tool with Windows 11 on it. So Windows 11 boot disk. And then I'm going to do the Windows 11 install from a USB boot disk. And we're going to see how all that goes and whether the activation key is recognized from the system at that point, which I kind of don't think it will be, but let's find out. Here we go. So one thing I want to point out is right now when you go into the Windows update, it says check for updates, and right now it's saying this PC can run Windows 11. Now when I did this in the previous video, this was still saying it didn't meet Windows Ready requirements. Don't know what that reason was, but everything was updated, everything was up to date. I converted it from legacy to UEFI, all that kind of good stuff. But the main thing to know right now is when I rebooted the system, it does now come up in Windows Update and say the PC can run Windows 11. Okay, so I've inserted my USB drive in, and you can see right here, USB drive E. So I'm going to double click this, and our setup file is right here. So we're going to double click this, and we're going to let it run. So it's going to say, do you want to allow the app? Of course we do, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. And we're going to let it go. I'm going to minimize this. And the process is now starting. So it's saying preparing, and it's going to walk through until it hits 100%. I have no idea what it's going to do actually, so we're both learning at the same time. Now, any place that's going to take a long time, I'll fast forward through, but so now here we are. Do you want to install Windows 11? Now, it says the setup will go online to get updates, drivers, and optional features, all that kind of good stuff. And the updates, of course, will help the installation go smoothly and can include important files, update device drivers, all that kind of good stuff. And right now, I have no idea what it's going to do, but we're going to find out. So I'm going to say down here, it says, I want to help make the installation better. No, I don't, because that is going to be sending stuff to Microsoft. Not doing it. I'm just going to click next. Going to check for updates, and it's going to probably download them. Okay, so it's going to restart the Windows 11 setup. It's checking my PC to make sure it meets all the requirements. Okay, you've seen this before. It looks a little bit different, but pretty much the same. We're getting things ready. And now this is what you normally would see. Just, again, looks a little bit different. So we'll do what we all did. We'll read it all. Yep, there we go. And accept. Oh, I know it's going to check for the updates. This should be a fairly fast process. So getting on to the fresh install, I'm going to be putting in a new M.2 drive. I'm going to install from a fresh drive, like as if the hard drive failed, and we're going to do a fresh install from that after I do all this, because I want to see what happens in that event. Okay, so making sure you're ready to install. So basically it's doing a few checks. Okay, install Windows 11 Pro, keep personal files and apps, and I'm going to click install. And here we go. Okay, so it's installing Windows 11, said it might restart several times, and it's going to take a while maybe. So we're at 69%, 72% so far, and it's taken quite a while to get here, I might add. So hopefully it'll be done soon. It's taken about, I'm going to say, maybe 5 minutes so far in total. So not too bad, but I don't know. This is longer than I expected, but considering that this is a completely new install and it's an update from what I had, I guess this is to be expected. We'll find out if it's any faster, which hopefully it will be when we do a fresh install with a new hard drive, or in this case, a new M.2 drive. Okay, we're at the 85%. Okay, so now we're at the part where it says your PC will restart in a few moments. And of course, that's what's going to happen. So we'll come back in a second again. And we're restarting. Now this is going much faster, I might add. Okay, so my computer has come up for the very first time. And we have a new background, so that's fine. So we had a new background, and now it's doing the getting things ready. Again, very standard stuff. Okay, that looks different. That's quite different. It's kind of a purplish look to it. Kind of cool. All the icons came up there, and now we're looking at our start menu, which is all across the bottom. Everything else looks exactly the same. No real changes. So we're going to go on and we're going to do a little bit of exploration, and then we're going to do the fresh install. So with this, you can see the icons, nothing's changed. And our start button is here. No, can we change it? Let's find out. Let's see, taskbar settings. Okay, so opening up the taskbar. Now I've got this covered on the top because it's got some information I don't want to be seen. So we've got our taskbar personalization. So you can change your search, widgets, chat, all that kind of good stuff. Some of this stuff is new, some of it's not. And of course your Bluetooth devices, network. Okay, you can see it all here. Gaming. Oh, it's gaming. Let's have a look at that. That's what a lot of people are going to be. So your Xbox game bar, captures. So if you save your gaming, and game mode and optimization, accessibility, privacy and security, and Windows Update. So let's click on Windows Update and see what it looks like. So updates available to download, so you can download them now. It's going to give you a whole bunch. I have no doubt because of all the different things that have happened. You can pause updates here, so you can click on that. Choose how long. You can choose up to 5 weeks. So I think that's new. I would have thought that you could do longer than that before, but maybe not. Update history, you can do advanced options. Okay, so Windows Update advanced options. I'll let you go through and just have a quick look at that. And anyway, the other thing I want to do is actually, I want to go back. Okay, so the one thing I do want to check is under Windows Update is, am I activated or not? So let's find out where that's at. So Windows Update, and normally it tells us in here. I'm not seeing it, so we're going to click on System and see how it all looks different. Name of your computer, all that kind of good stuff. Now, you have display, sound, notifications, focus, assist, power, sleep, all that kind of good, storage, multitasking, activation. So activation state, subscription, so you click on this. Windows 11 Pro activation state, active. No issues with having to have a Windows key or anything like that to upgrade to Windows 11 Pro if you've already got Windows 10. So whether you have 10 Home or 10 Pro, that version, when you update, is going to be the one it's going to go to, all right, in order to get the free activation and stuff. So just to keep in mind. So one of the things I want to do is, I don't like all the stuff on the bottom. I like to shift it over. Okay, so I went to personalization. And now if you scroll down a little bit, you will see taskbar. So if you click on that, it's going to give you some options. Let's see here. So there we go. Taskbar alignment. Right now it's at center, and it lets you default it to left. So just click it on this, and it's going to move everything over. Okay, so I click on here, click left, and you can see it all jumps over to the left-hand side. When you install Windows 11 over the top of Windows 10, what happens? Does it work easily? Which it did. First thing you have to do is enable your FTPM if you're an AMD. And then, of course, you have to make sure you're in secure boot mode, and, of course, that you meet system requirements. Okay, so if you are unclear of that, you can look at my previous video. It shows you all that. Having set up, now I am signed in to my Windows account on this computer for the purpose of this only. Normally, I would just have a local account on a test system. So anyway, let's go on and do the fresh install Windows 11 and see if we have to update the BIOS straight out from that. I suspect I will. Let's do it and find out. Okay, so I've got a Samsung 980 M.2 NVMe drive installed. Nothing's ever been on it. It's brand new. It's 1 terabyte. Got a smoking deal on it. Well, I'm going to use my Windows 10 boot disk. Okay, that's what I'm going to use to install. We're starting up. Normally, it's finding everything. It says F1 to run setup. So we're going to do that. And we're in our BIOS. So what we should probably be looking for, so boot, and we're going to go to secure boot. It's in Windows UEFI mode, which is what we want, so that's good. Okay, so we're going to advanced trusted computing, and we're looking for TPM 2.0 device found, firmware version, and it's enabled. So we're pretty much good to go here. So we didn't have to change this the second time because it's kept all that in memory apparently. So we're going to exit, save changes, reset, even though we really didn't change anything. Yep. And now when it restarts, it's going to look for the boot device, which I'm going to insert now. So our boot drive is now in, and hopefully it will come up and just find it and start. So let's see what happens here. If not, I may have to go in and make sure the NVMe drive is recognized. Nope, there we go. So boot up your system first. Wait till you get the F1 screen, go in. Just make sure those things are on, which they already were. So that's recognized from having done it before. Now we're going in and we're going to do the Windows 11 install again on a fresh, brand new NVMe drive, which is basically a new hard drive. And we're going to see what happens. And we're going to check, do we need to activate Windows afterward? So I'm going to go through, we're going to do the normal install, everything like that. And I'll come back to you once it's all done, because really there shouldn't be anything different in here. There we go. And let's go next. And install. And now we should have the basic same installation as we've always had before. Now in this case, I have taken out my Wi-Fi because I want to try this without that and see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to say I don't have a product key at this moment. We're going to go with a Windows 11 Pro. And now it's saying the PC can't run Windows 11. So why? It doesn't meet the minimum system requirements to install this version of Windows. Okay, so we're obviously having an issue with something not activated in the BIOS. Okay, so we're going to have to go and check that out and see what that is. Okay, so I've gone in, double checked, made sure that secure, the FTPM is enabled, made sure secure boot was working. Then I had to check because I couldn't figure out what was going on. So some people say disable CSM, which I'm not going to do just yet. But when I went in to look at it, one thing I noticed is it says enabled UEFI and legacy UPROM. And my understanding is this needs to be changed to UEFI only. So I'm going to do that and see what happens. Now that may not change anything. Maybe I have to change them all. I don't know. We'll find out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to exit and save. Save changes and reset. That's the only thing I'm changing. And we're going to try one more time to see if we can install Windows now that that is the only thing I've changed. If not, I'll put it back to what it was and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're back into the Windows from the boot disk again. I'm going to leave everything as is. I'm just going to go next and install now and see what happens. Did that make the difference? You shall soon see. I'm going to say I don't have a product key right now. Pick a Windows 11 Pro. You may need to pick home depending on what is on your system. If you got Windows 10 Home already on it, if you're doing not this way, you might want to try that. But anyway, I'm doing on Windows 11 Pro. Next, and let's see what happens. If it continues past, we'll find out. Okay, so let's click that. Okay, that was what did it, as I did not get this screen last time. So, perfect. So now I'm going to do custom, install Windows Only Advanced. Okay, it's found my drive. I'm going to say next. And perfect. That is all I had to change. So remember that if you're having that issue, you're getting that error message, this fixes it. I'm happy with this. This makes my day, to be quite honest. Or you wouldn't have seen this video, to be quite honest. I would have had it figured out later on. So I'm going to let this go through. It's going to be the same process as a normal Windows install would have been. Going to go through, get your files ready, install features, updates, and finishing up. Now, there is one more thing that's going to come up. Because I don't have the Wi-Fi on there right now, it's going to hiccup. And I'm going to show you how to get past that as well. Now, something that used to happen before, I don't know if you've run across it, when you boot from a USB, sometimes what happens when it's done, it would do the restart, and then you would go into like a boot loop, and it would just keep trying to start over and over again. So this is Windows 11. Hopefully, hope they fix that. So I'm going to leave the USB in there when it restarts this time and see what happens. If it just comes up normally and continues the install, great. Yeah, so we'll stay tuned for that. Okay, so we're rebooting. And we're going to see what happens here in just a second. Is it going to try and do it all over again from the boot disk? Hopefully it will just avoid it this time and start up from our 1 terabyte NVMe drive. Okay, great. So it did not try and do the boot loop like it has been known to happen in the past. It's just still reading. It's ignoring the USB right now. It's just going ahead and doing stuff. Now, at some point, it's going to look for that Wi-Fi because you're supposed to have been signed in. You're supposed to have a Wi-Fi set up in order to do everything. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do it without it. If I'm forced to, well, then I'll put the Wi-Fi. But right now, this is going to help you to install and get where you need to be. Okay, so I'm going to take my USB drive out now because it's not using it anymore anyway. And here we go. Our Windows 11 is installing. Fresh install, new motherboard, new hard drive, nothing at all on it. I've seen too many videos where they tell you, oh, prep your motherboard, do this, do this. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted a brand new system with the system fails, you got to replace the hard drive. And I did that. And now it's booting up and I'm installing it. So there's going to be different scenarios. So I'm going to pick my location, Canada. Say yes. Keyboard US, yep. Want a second keyboard? No. So I'm going to skip it. Now, this is where it says, let's connect you to a network. If I say I don't have a internet, we'll say, well, let's see what happens. I don't have internet. So continue with limited setup. Now, I don't know what's going to happen here. I have a feeling I know, but we'll find out. And if that doesn't work, well, then we'll use my method. Okay, so who's going to use the device? I'm just going to name it my name, Dennis. No password. And I'm just going to go through. Nope. Nope. Everything's going to be no. Required only. New. 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 And that's it. It's starting up. Super impressed that all it took was going to the CSM, telling it UEFI only on top of the secure boot, on top of the TPM. That was an extra step you had to do. Don't know why, but if you run across that error message, this will work for you. Now, if the internet was a problem, you can do Shift F10 at that point if it gave you a problem, or if it does as I'm doing this. And if it does, Shift F10 will get you back up and running. There's other things that are involved, but for now I'm not going to bother showing it because it's not happening, so I can only deal with the situation as it happens. Gotta say, I do like this purplish background that they put in there. That's pretty cool, actually. Keep your PC on and plugged in, by all means. Okay, saying almost there, and there, everything's coming up. We're ready to go. We're ready to set. Now, one thing I know that happens right away is it's going to let you have Microsoft Edge, which is normally done in the past as well. Success, fresh boot, fresh install, walked you through it. Everything's super simple, just like before. You want to change this menu, you can go down here, right click, and you want to go taskbar, options, and you can choose, I showed you earlier in the video, and here's where, but anyway, you can choose where you want everything to be. So that was actually, where did I choose that from? Just right clicking on the menu here on the bottom bar. You can go taskbar settings and you can make your changes there. So again, down here, taskbar, behaviors, alignment, make it left, and you're done. Okay, and of course now you can click in here, system. Now, here's the thing, is it activated? Let's find out. So let's go Windows Update. And I have no doubt there's a bunch of updates, but the activation key should be tied to the motherboard. Don't know if it is or not, but we're going to find out. Okay, so to find out, we're going to go over here where it says System, go down to About, and let's see what it says. So I'm going to click on here where it says Product Key and Activation. Activation state, oh, because I don't have, so they're going to get you no matter what. Activation state says can't connect. All right, so at this point, I'm going to have to go in, connect to a Wi-Fi, and then see if it's activated. So I want to do that. That's one extra step I'm going to do. So one of the things some ASUS motherboards have is called ASUS Grid. And if it's enabled on your motherboard, once you connect to an internet connection, which I've done now, it will automatically download all your drivers, everything. But here's the interesting thing. Before I even did that, just putting in my little USB wireless dongle, Windows 11 immediately recognized it, put the driver in for it, and everything was done. That has never happened in Windows 10 ever. I've always had to search for it, find it, and install it. It did it automatically on this one. Obviously, they've done some work on their driver issues and updating that. So I'm surprised because I'm honestly, truly quite liking this so far. And I have not run into any problems yet. And as it installs things, it's putting some things down in the bottom. So there's the ASUS Grid Beta. Here's your settings if you want to use it, all these different features. And yeah, so my ASUS Aurora. So if I want to sync my colors and everything, yeah, very happy. So now that I'm connected to a network, let's check. And again, I don't expect this to actually happen, but we'll find out. Product key and activation. Activation state can't connect. So I'm not sure exactly why. Make sure you're connected to the internet. I obviously am. Okay, so I did have to do one reboot. And once I rebooted, I went back in to have a look. And my activation state is now saying active. So we're good to go. So basically that was taking a motherboard that had Windows 10 on it. Install Windows 11. And then I shut the system down. Put in a new NVMe drive. So none of the other hardware for hard drive wise was there. Install a brand new hard drive, NVMe drive. Okay, so put that in there. Everything else remained the same. Was able to install Windows 11. You've seen the issues that I had with CSM. Once I fixed that, everything went smoothly. activated right away based off of the hardware that was already on the motherboard, hardware that was already on your motherboard. So everything's good to go. It's activated. So you got a system running like this, you're running Windows 11, hard drive fails, take it out, put a new hard drive in, and you should be able to do what I just did, and no problems. Oh, and the other thing I want to mention is they say you're supposed to have to be signed in. I'm not. You can see right here, Dennis, local account. You watched everything I did. I did not go in and do anything differently. That is what I did. I'm on a local account with just that. And as a system builder, I'm happy to see that. And I'm good to go. Now I'll do Windows updates and stuff like that. No problems. Oh, in case you're wondering, there's a lot of updates. So all the different things here that have to be installed. Okay. So I'm just going to do that, but that doesn't matter. You don't need to see all that stuff happening. All right, everybody. So there we go. Windows install from Windows 10 to Windows 11 with Windows 10 already having been on there. So basically an upgrade. No problems. It used the Windows 10 Pro activation key that was there before and activated Windows 11 Pro on that. Then I shut the system down, replaced the hard drive, brand new hard drive, never been used, on the same system, reinstalled Windows. You saw the issues that I had. Not that big, but had to troubleshoot it to find out. And then once I did that, Windows 11 installed, and everything has worked perfectly. I gotta say, I'm actually surprised. I actually like Windows 11. I still have a lot more exploration to do before I'm like gonna recommend it, because right now I'm not gonna recommend it yet, but I'm close. So anyway, if you like the video, hit that like. If you don't, you know what to do. If you're new here, think about subscribing. Hit that bell for future videos so you'll be notified when they come up. And if you want to help out the channel, you can click on that join and donate. You can click on join and then go away later on and just do a month at a time if you want. It's just a little donation saying thank you or something. That's just there. It's an option, and it does help me out and lets me do more things on the channel. So far, I hasn't been doing a lot, but hey. So if you have any questions or anything like that, shoot them my way in the comments, and I'll be happy to get back to you. And if you have something specific you want to see, because I'm going to leave this system running. Okay, Windows 11 is going to be on my test bench, and it's going to be running for quite some time. And if you have questions, or how do I do this, or how to do that in Windows 11, I'll get back to you, and if I can figure it out, I'll let you know. One thing I do like that was much easier, adjusting the date and time, way simpler than it's been when I've tried to do it in the past. And I'm finding that with quite a few things that I was playing around with. Anyway, I'm blathering on. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.